I'm finally going to show the Hobonichi Weeks cover that Glenda Slan made me. She's at Paper Flower Designs. Don't think I've ever bought a cover from anybody else. I have a few, well, I have a personal size traveler's notebook. I have a regular size traveler's notebook, and I also have something she made me with Joey and Ventura's picture on it as well. What I have is, you know, their vet records and stuff. I really like her products. One of the things that makes them so good is that she asks you what you want. If you want a certain kind, but like a leather that does something else, you know, she would steer you in that direction. If you want a pen loop or a certain pocket configuration, she will do that. There's really a lot of customization. So as a result, her shop has things that are pre-made, but a lot of the things are really custom ordered. So, you know, it isn't like you can order it and have it shipped the next day normally. You know, it just takes time to get exactly what you want. And so I love that. I think I probably had it. She was a little backed up when I ordered it, so I'm thinking she completed it in about 2 weeks, and the rest of it was transit, which wasn't actually that bad. So this is a cover for the weeks. I wanted her to make it for me. The customizations are things that I picked. For example, there are different options for the clasp. There are different options for the pocket. She included 2 bookmarks with these charms. Honestly, I've never done this before. I don't even know if I'm in frame. Okay, let me see if I can get a better... Yeah, this is going to be really difficult for me. I've never done a video where the camera is in a position and I have both of my hands. About a year ago, maybe even more, the owner of Milk Shop messaged me and asked, did I have a tripod? And I said, no, I didn't. And she sent me one. I mean, she was just amazing. And then I tried a couple times to figure out how to use it and it never worked. So we'll see if this is actually going to work for me. Yeah, so this is beautiful. This is in the Tiffany blue leather. The stitching is beautiful and the same color, which I prefer. I know a lot of people prefer contrasting stitching. The inside leather is, you know, the uncolored buff color leather. And these are the pockets that I picked. There's also some white on it. There's a pocket back there. There's a pocket back there. And then there's a secretarial pocket. And it fits the weeks beautifully. She can customize the pen loop size, or whether you don't want a pen or not. I have a 4-barrel Coletto in here, and it could probably hold a little bit of a bigger pen. But that's just the kind of pen I prefer. She really does some amazing work. There's the, on her shop, and you can really customize to such a large degree. For me, that means that, you know, I'm not going to be surprised when I get it. I'm not going to expect it to be floppy when it's stiff. I'm not going to expect it to mark like, you know, the Traveler's Notebook, Traveler's Factory Notebook, when it doesn't. You know, she'll give hints and tips about how things are going to wear. She can do contrasting stitching or not. I mean, really, I think You know, had I not been able to order exactly what I wanted all these times, I would probably have a million more notebooks. You know, because I think when you're ordering something, you know, sight unseen online, if you can't really pick what you want, it's kind of a crapshoot. It is for me, and they're expensive, and, you know, I don't want to spend 70, 80, 90, $100 on something and then get it and say, oh, you know what, that really wasn't what I wanted. So I really don't mind waiting while Glenda crafts things for me. And I'm gonna do, I haven't done a video since July. I've been using my weeks. I watch videos. I just haven't really been feeling it. Haven't had a good year, and also I don't think that the videos that I do are really what people are interested in watching anymore. I really think there's a push for more of a scrapbooking vibe, and you know, I scrapbooked when my son was young. I have like a couple of completed scrapbooks, and what I found was I just ended up with a huge amount of scrapbooking material that I eventually gave away. And, you know, ditto with stamps and ditto with pens. And I mean, to some extent, I am guilty of that with planner supplies. But the thought of adding like scrapbooking stuff to my planner, stamps and paper packs and all that, I can barely manage the stuff I have now. And I also really need a planner. I mean, I really am dependent on it. You know, I don't write something down. I don't write an appointment down. I will probably miss my appointment. I mean, I have ADD. Medicine was not a help for me. I do much better with learning new coping skills. This is one for me. You know, I'm also, you know, a lot of people talk about obsessive compulsive disorder, in that they are obsessive compulsive about, I don't know, notebooks sticking out the side. I actually do have obsessive compulsive disorder, and I did have some success with medicine, and ditto for anxiety. But the things that I've found that help me more than medicine are learning how to cope with the fallout from all these things. You know, I'm very scattered, I'm very forgetful, I'm very typical of an ADD person, and this helps me. You know, obsessive compulsive, you know, it's very hard. You know, you get thoughts stuck in your mind, you focus on one thing when you should be focusing on another. You know, all these things need symptom tracking to some extent, or if I'm on medicine, they need medicine, you know, tracking. Again, sometimes being able to write something down allows me to let it go to a better degree than I would be able to without it. And same with anxiety. Probably 20 something years ago and back, I mean, I had a terrible problem with panic attacks. Things that altered my ability to enjoy life. I would say all of that is better. I mean, it certainly took me learning how to cope with all these things, picking up new coping skills, and my planner helps me. So, you know, while I understand, I mean, and I'm not, you know, my planner just isn't pen and pencil. I mean, I certainly do doodles in here. I certainly, you know, use tape from time to time. I have one stamp that I use. But the fact is that if I was focused on a theme every week, or so focused on making it look like I made my scrapbook, I wouldn't be able to get anything done. It wouldn't be useful for me. So that was a really long ramble. You know, my point is, what I'm doing really doesn't seem to be interesting to people. I mean, I just, I just don't get the views. I mean, obviously it's just not that interesting. So I've probably done, I did a video, I think, in July, maybe. I don't think I've done another one since. So I'm going to do a flip through and I'm going to see how it goes. And I don't know if I'm going to continue, honestly, with the video thing, but we will see. So anyway, let me get into this. One of the things I did in here was if I was going to use tape and I was going to keep little random bits of stuff from ticket stubs or postage, I was going to put it in here. I wasn't going to continue collecting more things for me to manage. And so I dedicated, I think, 2 initial pages and then a 3rd page. And now, any of those little bits I think about stashing somewhere to use, I just put in here. And this is the first page. I've also gotten a new appreciation for monthly calendars. I hemmed and hawed about bullet journaling on and off over the last year. And to be honest, every time I think about drawing, even a monthly calendar, I'm exhausted. I tried once, I hated it, I never even finished it. So for me, this is the equivalent of an index and has been for the last year. I do put in upcoming appointments. Another thing I need is a dated planner. So I put in all appointments, upcoming appointments, and anything else. When my dogs are sick, when I'm sick, anything I might need to find back in these pages, I'll put in here. And I do little drawings. I did a little umbrella for July, and this was hot and humid. And this was September, my fall leaves. And I didn't finish my pumpkin yet for October. So here's another example of a page I started. Because if I'm going to keep all these little postage bits, I'm just going to stick them right in. This was part of a rack. This was my original mail travel bits and bobs page, and it's pretty much filled up. The advantage that I have is that I really stick to one basic color scheme because it's my favorite. And so most of everything goes together. So this is when I started it. It was at the end of June. And I don't know how people keep their pages so flat and unwrinkled, but I couldn't do it. They would get all tattered and raggy. So I started putting 1 piece of tape on each week. It sort of strengthens the page. So this was another one. And this was a drawing. Actually, this is a drawing too. I liked this tree. I continued it. And I tried a variety of things because I was really thinking about why a bullet journal would work. So I do the same thing every time pretty much. I have a weekly task list and appointments, and then when I get around to stuff, I usually write them in here. But I played around with some tracking to see if what I really wanted was to do a bullet journal or did I need a bullet journal. And here's another example of tracking. And I also, this is a small thing, so I would put extra paper in if I needed more room. Here's another one. And I've played around with different radial planners. I really like Marianne's Hyperdex. I just have a hard time seeing the numbers actually when I use the stamp. They're very small, and for something this size, the larger Hyperdex would be too big. So I'm still really working on that. Yeah, obviously worked on that a lot. So here's another tracking thing I tried, and another one. I'm sort of at a loss because I find that if I don't try to track these things, my ability to do them and my motivation to do them tends to peter out. But when I try to do these tracking things, I just can't stand, I just never do them. I feel like burdened by them. So here's another one. I think this was the last big one I did. And, you know, while I did it, when I filled out the next week, because I fill out the next week, usually Saturday. No, maybe this was, I don't know. Anyway, so this was another tracking thing I tried. And here's, I added a lot of different things. A lot of tipped in pages, because, you know, you certainly can. I think this was the last tracking thing I tried. And honestly, I just was over it. I was just bored with it. I stopped doing it. And unfortunately, I started to lose my momentum. So here's some more. Here's some more. Another page. And this week. So I guess I've really talked enough. I probably didn't expect it to be that long, because really I wanted to show you, you know, this. And, you know, I throw my planners around. And when I got this, I was like, oh no, I don't want this to get not beautiful. I don't want to see wear on this. It's the first time that's happened to me. But I've had it for a good couple of months, and really I haven't had any problems at all. It's still as beautiful as the day I got it. I will link Glenda's shop. If you don't know her, she's on Facebook also. Like I said, she just does amazing work. And then the nice thing is, it's custom to me. And if she can do something that you're looking for, she will do it. So thanks, guys. Thanks so much for watching. And I hope you enjoyed the video.